as I begin to start my day in dealing with Parkinson's. Many interesting.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to Living with Parkinson's. My name is Tim. I'm wanting to take you on a journey this week with me. My wife and I are preparing for a camping trip. We've got our little camper all set up, and we're getting ready to go. I want to enjoy one of many trips around West Virginia. Parkinson's for me has been a journey, as I've told you before. I went through DBS, or deep brain stimulation surgery, here about 4 years ago, and I believe, yes, it has helped me in some ways. It helps to mitigate the amount of medications I have to take, which, of course, offsets some things like tardive dyskinesia, and it helps you with control your tremors and such. I still have problems. I'm starting to have more and more problems with shoulder movement and my head flinching and crawling around and such. I watched a very disturbing video of Michael J. Fox the other night when he was sitting on his couch in an interview, and he had a pillow in front of him, and he was just wallowing and welling his hands and arms. I understand how he feels. Sometimes I take a pillow and I just cuddle it so I can keep my arms still. I thank God for the patience of my wife. She's been very instrumental in my treatment. She's part of my treatment team, her and my neurologist. Recently, I had to go through medication changes. My general practitioner had me on much blood pressure medicine, and I was just experiencing extreme dizziness for about a year. And I thought, oh my gosh, my end journey is coming near. Well, my neurologist heard what I was saying, and she regulated my blood pressure medicine, and oh my goodness, what a difference. Part of that team effort. My wife, the other night, I was suffering from a little bit of anxiety, I guess you could say, sitting around at night thinking about all I needed to do, and I said, Diana, I've got to go for a walk. So she got up and she got dressed. She already had her night clothes on. She got up and got dressed, God bless her heart, and went off with me on a little hike around the neighborhood. Not far, but just enough to set off the anxiety and to refocus a little bit. Parkinson's has been that very thing to me. I've had to refocus my whole life. I used to do a lot of public speaking. I don't do much of that anymore because of my movements and such. And I used to enjoy eating out, and now we've kind of stayed that to the side a little bit because I guess of my self-consciousness. About a month or two ago, we had to take my mother-in-law to the hospital. My wife was hungry, so I ran across the street to get her a sandwich. I brought it back to her, and my hands were shaking so bad that I couldn't eat mine there in public. People were looking at me. Food was just flying everywhere, and it was an embarrassment. So she wrapped my sandwich up for me, and I went back out to the car, and I sat and ate in peace and quiet and private. I still threw food everywhere, and I had to clean the car up, but God bless her heart, I was able to do that. I've always been very self-conscious of how people perceive me and saw what I am. I probably too much so. I remember many years ago, I used to work construction work. I was in a local Home Depot, or excuse me, 84 Lumber. And a guy looked at his son, and I was filthy dirty. I just started a tremendously big job, biggest job we'd ever taken on. It was $1 million project for my company. And I'm standing there just filthy dirty, and this father looked up at his son and he said, "You don't want to be like that when you grow up. You need to go to school and study." I know he meant well for his son before he pegged me wrong. I'm a highly motivated person, and I refuse to let this overcome me. My wife and I enjoy many camping trips, and we're going to enjoy many more. God give me the strength to do them. We recently had to fit my RV with a electric tongue jack so I don't have to crank on it anymore. And then the four corner stabilizers, we had to upgrade to that, so it's easier on me. We have a beautiful little camper, and I know that someday I'm going to have to put it away and say I can't use it anymore. But that won't be a sorrowful time for me because I'll know that my wife and I had tried to live our life to the fullest. My wife has done a beautiful job on our camper. If you kind of look inside, you can see the beautiful indent prints that she has done, pillows all over the place, and turquoise, and God bless her heart. She just works so hard at trying to please me and do things to make life more comfortable for me. We meet many people in West Virginia, and I'll kind of keep you updated a little bit next week when I come back to how our camping trip went and some of the struggles I ran into. And hopefully it won't be too big of struggles, but I'll try to keep you updated. BBS has given me that type of freedom, I believe, that enables me to go on and do things that I want to do, and it helps me to get along in life without too much worry. I still have my problems of eating out, and I'm very conscious of it. I end up with food on my face, and I don't like that. Um, people do look at you, and they look at what a slob, or look at that poor old guy. I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Viktor Frankl said that in his search for meaning, if you don't know who Viktor Frankl is, if you haven't followed me before, you'll know that he was a neurologist in World War II. He was in a German concentration camp. And Victor said that if man doesn't have that inner motivation, that inner peace about him, that spirit that drives him, something to hold on to, well, those were most likely the people that perished in the camp. Not all, but most likely. I have an inner spirit in me, and that inner spirit is seeing my grandchildren grow and my wife as long as I can. I hold on to that every day. Like Viktor Frankl said, he held on to the beauty of his wife when he was in hard times in the concentration camp as a prisoner, and he never gave up, even when he learned of the death of his wife and son. He held on to that beauty of her spirit, and that's what I hold on to every day. The beauty of my wife's spirit. We've been married 46 years. Right now, 47 years. Excuse me. It's June 10th. I relish every one of them. I haven't been a perfect husband. I try to be a good husband. I try to be loving and kind and understanding, and in turn, she treats me with that type of respect too. Even with my Parkinson's, I thought, oh no, this is more than she can bear. She lost her brother at 16, her father when she was like 13, and the two most important people in her life besides her mother. Her mother's still alive, God bless her heart, but aging, and Diane holds on to that beauty of those relationships all the time. She's had her life full of troubles too. She had lost a good friend at the age 18. They was in a car wreck together. Diane was holding her baby. The mother was killed. Diane and the baby survived, luckily, barely. But I don't know how she does it. She has that inner peace about her. That part of her just will not give up. I find inspiration in that because, like Viktor Frankl, I too have that inner peace, that motivating spirit inside me. I have a master's in psychology and a clinical psychology and family and marriage counseling. That's my education. I got to work for people, work with people. I got to work with people that were affected by drugs in the last part of my employment as a counselor. And I've seen too often hundreds and hundreds of people who just had no spirit within them at all. For some of us, that spirit comes naturally. For others, they have to find it. It's not an easy thing to find. You've got to just search and pray to God. You remember, I said that prayer on my last time. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, my Parkinson, the courage to change the things I can, my life and my spirit, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, we have to be highly motivated people, even with Parkinson's. We've got to learn to overcome what needs to be overcame. We've got to learn to become victorious in the sight of failure. Michael J. Fox, my heart bleeds for him. Such a crusader for Parkinson's and such an inspirational person. He never gave up. He didn't care what people think of him. He's out for one purpose. The purpose to help find a cure for Parkinson's. Well, folks, we need to fight every day and be a testimony to the world that we are not going to let Parkinson's overcome us. If you ever want to talk, feel free to call me. My phone number is always posted on my video, and my email is always posted. I'll talk to you. I'll listen to you. I won't criticize you, but I will listen to you. Sometimes that's all we need, somebody to listen to us. Well, listen, I'll bring you up to date next week on my our camping trip. But until then, God bless, stay healthy, and fight hard. Do your morning exercises and your walks. God bless you. Tim, in Living with Parkinson's.